African news update on top accolade news. The headlines: Somalia Prime Minister reshuffles cabinet. EPRA unveils new fuel pricing model to ensure price stability in Kenya. Rwanda cuts diplomatic ties with Belgium. Angola's cholera outbreak continues as death toll reaches 282. In politics, Somalia Prime Minister reshuffles cabinet. Somalia's Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre carried out a significant cabinet reshuffle on Monday. The reshuffle saw new appointments to key positions, including ministers of port, trade, transport, and youth and sport, in a bid to strengthen governance and address pressing issues like security, economic growth, and infrastructure. The changes come at a time when government forces are engaged in a fierce battle against Al-Shabaab militants who are attempting to destabilize the government. The reshuffle is expected to empower the new ministers to play crucial roles in advancing Somalia's stability and development. Shifting focus to economy, EPRA unveils new fuel pricing model to ensure price stability in Kenya. The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority has introduced a new fuel pricing model aimed at maintaining price stability in Kenya's petroleum sector. EPRA Director General Daniel Kipto explained that the revised pricing structure developed after extensive consultations reflect the true costs across the petroleum supply chain, including factors such as taxes, transportation, and global oil prices. Kipto noted that the economic landscape has changed significantly since the last model update in 2018, with inflation, exchange rate fluctuations, and global oil market shifts all influencing the new structure. Additionally, key adjustments in transportation costs and retail margins were made to ensure a fair pricing environment for both consumers and investors. Moving to international relations, Rwanda cuts diplomatic ties with Belgium. Rwanda has severed diplomatic ties with Belgium, its former colonial ruler, in response to European Union sanctions targeting senior Rwandan officials. The sanctions imposed by the EU over Rwanda's alleged involvement in supporting the M23 rebel group in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo led to Kigali expelling Belgian diplomats, giving them 48 hours to leave the country. Belgium had played a central role in pushing for the sanctions, which also targeted key figures in Rwanda's military and a gold refinery in Kigali. In retaliation, Belgium expelled Rwandan diplomats in a diplomatic standoff that has escalated tensions between the two nations. This move comes against the backdrop of a historically complex relationship, as Rwanda and Belgium's colonial history still influences their diplomatic exchanges. The impact of this rupture on regional stability and Rwanda's international standing remains uncertain. Moving to health, Angola's cholera outbreak continues as death toll reaches 282. Angola's cholera outbreak continues to spread, with 126 new cases and 7 deaths reported in the last 24 hours across several provinces. Luanda, Kwanza North, and Bengal were the hardest hit areas with 44, 34, and 22 new cases respectively. The death toll has now risen to 282 since the outbreak began in January, with the majority of fatalities in Luanda and Bengal. Despite these grim figures, 171 people have been discharged from the hospitals, though 249 are still undergoing treatment. Authorities continue to monitor the situation closely as the outbreak affects individuals ranging in the age of 2 to 100 years old. You are watching the African News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. In conflict, Tigray residents fear new conflict as tensions rise over fragile peace agreement. In the capital of Ethiopia's Tigray region, residents are growing anxious as tensions rise once again, threatening the fragile peace established after the brutal civil war that claimed hundreds and thousands of lives. Despite the peace agreement signed in late 2022, Political infighting between the Tigray People's Liberation Front and the region's interim administration has sparked fears of renewed conflict. Many people are fleeing with sold-out flights to the capital, Addis Ababa, while others are hoarding supplies and withdrawing savings. Displaced persons remain in makeshift camps, and infrastructure like schools and hospitals remain in ruins. As residents continue to heal from the trauma of war, they worry that the region may be heading towards another conflict with disastrous implications for the already volatile Horn of Africa. Still in conflict, M23 rebels withdraw from peace talks. In the ongoing conflict between Congo and the M23 rebels, tension have escalated further as the group announced it would withdraw from scheduled peace talks with the Congolese government. The rebels cited European Union sanctions on their members and ongoing military offensive by Congo's army as key obstacles to the discussions. The peace talks planned for this week in Luanda, Angola, were deemed impracticable by M23, even as Congo confirmed it will still send a delegation. The situation in Congo's mineral-rich east has worsened since M23 seized major cities like Goma and Bukavu. In entertainment, Egypt sets official opening date for the Grand Egyptian Museum. Egypt's Prime Minister chaired a key meeting to finalize preparation for the Grand Egyptian Museum's official opening on July 3rd. The event, which will attract global attention, will be attended by numerous heads of state and dignitaries, including monarchs and prime ministers. He highlighted that stringent security, logistical planning, and high-level readiness at international airports were essential for the success of the ceremony. The meeting also discussed ongoing infrastructure development around the museum, including road improvements, landscaping, and metro station completion. The Prime Minister emphasized that the Supreme Committee will regularly monitor progress to ensure a flawless opening. Now in sports, Africa's road to the 2026 FIFA World Cup heats up. After a 9-month break, the African qualifiers for the 2026 FIFA World Cup resumed this week with high-stakes matches for some of the continent's biggest football nations. With 6 rounds remaining, the race for automatic spots intensifies as only the top 9 group winners are guaranteed a place at the finals in North America, while 4 runner-up will enter playoffs for 1 final spot. Nigeria, Mali, Senegal, and Egypt are among the heavyweights facing crucial games, with managerial changes adding layers of uncertainty. From Nigeria's must-win clash with Rwanda to Senegal's tough encounter with Sudan, all eyes will be on how these teams will navigate their challenges on the road to the World Cup. That concludes our African news update for today. Stay tuned for more African news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I am Ojo Arumi Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.